Round 1. DJ Debs versus the obstacles of life. Fight!
Time right. It's almost time, baby. You ready?
I'm so ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Make sure y'all hitting the thumbs up. Make sure y'all comment and let us know where y'all tuning in from. The show Get 'em to the Metaverse is about to start. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Come on, make some noise. Put some fire emojis in the comment section. It's about to be insane. It's about to be insane. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Yeah, it's called Get 'em to the Metaverse. You gotta get 'em to the Metaverse. That's Joy. That's Joy over there. It's me. It's me right here. It's called Get 'em to the Metaverse. You gotta get 'em to the Metaverse. Let's go. Hold up, ayy. Hold up, ayy. First of all, how you feeling, Joy Rain?
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Get 'em to the Metaverse. You already know it is, and today we have a phenomenal guest. But before we get into all of that, Jayden, you know I have to check in with you, right? How are you doing today?
Joy, I'm feeling
Okay.
Real good.
Okay.
I'm feeling real good. Yeah, because the show is about to be something like, I don't know, I'm just happy. Yeah, all right. Welcome everybody back to Get 'em to the Metaverse, where our mission is to help to make the extraordinary Metaverse an ordinary part of life with the gorgeous, magnificent Joy Rain and your boy Jayden. Okay, you already know what we doing. Hey, welcome back. I'm so excited. Y'all don't understand. We get so pumped to do this show for you guys. And right now, y'all know what's going on right now? Do y'all understand? The point that we're going, the show is going on right now. We are at right now AWE. We're on the floor right now. How are we on the floor right now doing the show? Because we love y'all that much. Okay? It's that type of show. But Joy, first of all, how are you feeling this week? It's been a lot of stuff going on this week.
Absolutely.
How do you feel?
I mean, you know, the big thing, AWE, you have to be there and check our socials and make sure you see that, because we're going to keep you all updated on everything that we have left of the event when this airs. But oh my gosh, y'all, you already know. We're going to keep you informed.
That's right. And we have one heck of a show today. In fact, we don't want to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get into the intro for our special guest and bring them on in. You ready to do this, Joy?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go. Our guest today is Global Product Marketing Leader for Peridot at Niantic. He joined Niantic in 2016 prior to the launch of Pokémon GO and supported that game for several years. Following Pokémon GO, he has contributed to a variety of Niantic's other game launches and most recently has been focused on building the Peridot franchise. He's excited about experimenting with the cutting edge of technology, including augmented reality, artificial intelligence, spatial computing, and wearable technologies. So without further ado, let's welcome our special guest, Asim Ahmed. Yo,
Hey.
welcome, my brother, to Get 'em to the Metaverse. It's great to have you on. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited to chat with y'all.
Absolutely. Listen, we are about to get straight into the madness and awesomeness of Joy Rain dropping some incredible questions. We're so excited once again to have you. Joy, let's go ahead and jump straight into it.
Absolutely. So, can you tell us a bit more about your career journey and what led you to your current role as the Global Product Marketing Leader at Niantic Incorporated?
Yeah, of course. First, thanks so much again for having me here. I'd like to say I'm like a lifelong gamer. Been really excited about gaming since I was really young. Early on, I actually had a YouTube career where I was creating YouTube content. So I love to see what y'all are doing in the space. But really found a passion for gaming early on and the business side of what gaming looked like. And so I was fortunate enough post-graduation from college to find this awesome opportunity at Niantic. I actually joined right after I graduated from college and been with Niantic coming up on 8 years this summer. And
Woo,
Hold on. We got to give you the horns for that.
In like 20 days. Super excited. Been with Niantic for 8 years. Got to work on launching Pokemon GO to the world. And have since contributed to a variety of our other products. We had a Harry Potter title. We've had a handful of other soft launches. And if you're familiar with our slate, we have a Monster Hunter title, a Pikmin Bloom walking app. And I have been focused on Peridot. So excited to chat with y'all today.
Wow. So a slew of options there. Okay. Now, we, of course, know all about the Pokemon GO and a lot of those other titles. But it's incredible to hear that you come out of school, you're doing a YouTube thing, then you join this and you get into it. It's like, how do you get to Niantic? Like, Niantic is like God mode of all this cool stuff. Like, I'm really excited to hear even more about that journey, because the point that you were able to jump into such a company and then be a part of these projects that people know and love, I mean, that's kind of a rock star status, buddy. Like, I'm just being honest. It's rock star status.
I was just really lucky. Had this passion for gaming. I did a handful of internships throughout college. Actually did a Warner Brothers internship the summer before graduation, before my senior year. So I got really like immersed into what mobile gaming looked like, and I got introduced to our CMO through a friend of a family friend, and chatted with Niantic. I went to E3 that summer, had a couple of chats with the CMO then, and kind of got really lucky. And I've been really excited about what we've been able to do at Niantic over the past several years and be a part of that journey.
Absolutely. Love that.
Yeah, so that actually leads into our next question. How does Niantic's mission to create augmented reality experiences align with your personal vision for the future of technology?
That's an amazing question. I'd love to actually just start by, sharing a little bit about who we are, what our ethos is at Niantic. And, at Niantic, we think we can make games help us, get better in life, help us move, help us meet people, help us discover the beauty of the world. Our kind of slogan is adventures on foot with others. And there's kind of three core tenets to that. It's like discover the beauty of the world. There's an amazing world out there. I think when people think of gaming, maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago, it's like, oh, you're just gaming in the basement. But no, you can actually have games that get you going outside and discovering the world. Hopefully, doing
Absolutely.
that, getting some steps in your day, and along the way, meeting others. And so, it's a beautiful mission, and it's one that I'm like really excited to be a part of. And it's amazing, when you build products and you put those products out there and seeing people actually, going out, getting healthier, meeting their significant others. We've been able
Yeah.
to do a lot of amazing stuff. Really, at the core of that is that mission statement. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, really loving what we're doing at Niantic. The other part of that is we're really excited about this future where technology is heading. Augmented reality is amazing on phones, but I'm really excited for what augmented reality can look like when we have, maybe a couple more years down the line, but we'll have glasses that you can take outdoors.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's really where I see it all come together, because the mission is outdoors. The glasses are going to be outdoors hopefully soon. And so I'm excited to see what the content we can build that will make those experiences, those outdoor adventures, extra delightful. My point of view on augmented reality is that it adds joy, no pun
Mm.
intended, adds joy
Look
to your
now,
life.
look. I'm gonna put on the screen now. I love that. Keep it up.
But it adds extra joy and delight to your life.
Yeah,
It doesn't distract you from the beauty of the world. And so
Yeah.
I think we can build really compelling experiences at the core
yeah.
of that with that mission statement and do that outdoors. And so that's where I see the technology heading. And that's what I'm excited for.
You know, I would have never thought, not actually seeing the mission statement, realizing we're playing games like Pokemon Go, because I'm not going to lie, it did get me outside. I was literally everywhere at grocery stores, graveyards, it didn't matter. We were pulling up to get Pokemon, all right? And we were moving and walking and trying to hatch those eggs. It's like a lot to that.
Yeah.
And just the ability to do that. And I didn't realize that was a core mission to actually bring the digital kind of into the world and see the beauty of both of them. That's
Right.
really incredible. I love that so much.
Yeah, that's the exciting part for me. I remember back when we launched Pokemon Go, like literally 2 or 3 weeks after launch, I would go outside from the office on a couple of breaks, and you'd literally see like hundreds of people walking down the Embarcadero, and phone in hand, and you could immediately tell, oh, that person's playing Pokemon Go. And so it's great when you see that kind of mission at play. And over the years, we've seen, as I mentioned earlier, we've seen people meet their significant others, meet lifelong
Mhm.
friends just by playing games that they can play outside, and getting
Wow.
healthier, losing weight, and being able to discover the beauty of the world and like the hidden places that are in the world that they might not realize. Like, oh, that park was right down the street. I pass it every day during my commute, but I don't actually see it. I don't actually take a moment
Yeah.
to take it in. But with these games, you
Come
have that
on.
opportunity.
Because there's a
So
Snorlax right there. There's a
there's a
Snorlax right
Snorlax right
there.
there.
There's a Snorlax. I gotta get that Snorlax. Now, you said something that's really keen to me and Joy, that really connects deep to us for gaming and meeting your significant other. Even though we didn't technically meet through gaming, we have absolutely bonded. And I'm gonna tell you that
Yeah, it cultivated our relationship.
yeah, I want to tell you, I married Joy because she literally got a quest the day after me, and I was like, this is the woman. This is the woman I'm marrying. Like, like you bought your own quest. Like, we're getting married. Like, that's what's happening. So
Yes.
knowing that people are meeting their spouse and meeting their significant other through these mediums, and not just that, relationships. We're building. Joy builds relationships a lot. I build relationships a lot in the metaverse with these
Yeah.
digital personas and these avatars that we're connecting with people with. It's just really incredible to see that this technology can not only help us get healthy, like you were speaking, but also build greater personal human connection as well.
Yeah, and bring people together. So it is incredible. And so, what are some unique challenges and opportunities that you face when marketing augmented reality products compared to the traditional tech products?
That's a great question. I think a lot of people don't really know what augmented reality is. Like, we're still in the infancy of it. We've been there
Yeah.
for a couple years with obviously our titles and games, but I think like the biggest thing is showing the beauty, at least in my experience, showing the beauty of the world through the assets. And I wouldn't say it's so much a challenge, but more so like, how can you market it in a way such that you bring people into the world through the
Yeah.
content. They can envision it themselves, kind of in the shoes of that person or that experience. And so that's the
Right.
way that I think about marketing, especially for our titles, is how can we lean into that deep emotional connection at an even greater level than just like marketing a game. You're not marketing a game, you're marketing an experience, you're marketing a
Yeah.
Yeah.
feeling. And
Wow.
that's really the part of it for me.
Yeah, that's something, now that I think about it, I want to take care of every Pokemon I got or Peridot that I, had. Like that's something that it evokes emotion. And once again, it's not something that's hacked on you. It's something that is genuine and genuine and authentic. And I love that about what Niantic is doing. Like I said, I'm falling deeper in love with the mission of having
Yeah.
people, kind of take in the world. That's something I haven't heard before, and seen. Like you said,
Right.
somebody in the park, they're playing Pokemon Go, but then they might take a look and like, oh, that tree's nice, or why don't we come out here more often on walks, And maybe the next time the phone's not in their hand, but they're just holding hands, walking through that same park. I don't know that I'm falling deeper in love with that. I love the sound of that for real.
Yeah, and so that actually transitions into our next question about Peridot. We're going to talk all about it. So, what actually inspired the creation of Peridot on mobile, and how did you envision blending the best parts of caring for a creature with the mixed reality technology?
That's a phenomenal question. For those familiar with Niantic, we have a variety of amazing, beautiful experiences. Obviously, as we all mentioned, and most people are probably familiar with Pokemon Go. But from there, it's like there are a ton of amazing projects that can bring this delight to them. And maybe some people aren't as in love with the, Pokemon franchise, but maybe in love with another franchise. And
Come
so
on.
we kind of view it as how can we bring delight to as wide a range of people as possible. And as I think back to Peridot, this is a project we've been kind of cultivating over the past 4 years. Building games is actually really hard, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of prototyping, and a lot of tinkering and back and forth, of like what is an amazing game loop that's really exciting. But we started kind of toying around with this idea. For those of you that are familiar with Niantic games, you're traditionally this avatar on a map, and as you move in the real
Hmm.
world, you move on the map. And we said, hey, what if we turn that idea on its head and we actually immerse you immediately into the real world? And we get to show off the beauty of this amazing augmented reality technology. And
Wow.
so that was kind of the inspiration of Peridot is take the Niantic game, toss it on its head and see what we can build. And so we actually started off with a variety of technical demos we shared with our exec team. And we were actually never really intended to build a game, but the execs were just like so excited at this idea of creatures that could walk into in the real world and you leverage some really amazing, AR technology, semantic segmentation, optical occlusion, real-time mapping. We leverage our Lightship platform so we can actually understand the real-world environment
Yeah.
in ways at an even greater level. And so it's like,
Right.
okay, what's a delightful experience around that? And that was kind of the inspiration of Peridot on mobile. But early on, it was like, we don't just want to build this as a mobile game. Like the
Come
beauty
on.
is actually when you see it through your visual perception.
That's
And
it.
smartphones are amazing. Everyone has a smartphone in their pocket, but it's only this like small little glimpse, this small little window into this amazing, spatial computing world.
That's
But when
it.
you put
Right.
yourself in the headset, you're like 100 and 150% there.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, early days of Peridot, I was like, we wanted to build for headset, but let's master for mobile first, and
Yeah.
That makes
let's meet our
sense.
players kind of on the devices that they're on, and we're starting to see mixed reality devices become, more prominent, and over time they'll gain mass adoption and be super ubiquitous, and so. We're starting with that journey, and that was the inspiration of building Peridot franchise for mixed reality. And so a couple of weeks ago, we actually launched an experience called Hello Dot. It's this
Yes.
beautiful, adorable creature that you can have like in your space that's like super tangible, that's super physical, that is like incredibly immersive, and you can actually like pick the creatures up and pet the
Yeah,
creatures. You'll see its like ears fold back. And I don't think people actually realize this, but like these creatures aren't there, but the technology, it's so amazing that you can like
absolutely,
kind of feel that like tingling sensation in your hands. Like, wait,
absolutely.
am I actually petting this creature?
You're
And
actually
so
getting into my next question. That is completely awesome. So let me just jump right into that one. Could you describe how players can interact with their dots and what makes the interactions feel so immersive and emotionally engaging?
I think everyone is familiar with pets. There's like I think everyone like would love to have a pet. Like there's this feeling of companionship you get when you can have a pet, and so that's why I really leaned into the idea of like virtual pets because they can be there with you wherever you are, whenever you want. Uh,
Yes.
Right.
and started with that on mobile, but when you take that to mixed reality, it's like, oh my god, like this
Yeah.
feels like almost as real as an actual pet would. And maybe with a little less of the
Yeah.
hassle, maybe you don't need to clean up, the dog poop or go on walks a million times a day. But
Yes.
like you want that dopamine hit, that like escape from the real world, but still get to be in the real world, and that's why we leaned
Yeah.
into to virtual pets. I think like the ways that you can interact with these creatures in mobile, but even on a headset, are limitless. For Hello Dot, we kind of launched it as a step one of the expansion of the franchise to come. And so you really right now can feel this creature, the realism of it being in your world with you. So you can pick it up, you can pet it. We have added a handful of gestures. So if you like put your palm out, it'll like jump into your hand, or if you point at the
Yes.
ground, it'll kind of like follow where you're pointing. You can do this really cool like action where you can summon some food and feed it. So there are a lot of
That's
like
awesome.
small ways right now that we're leaning into that interaction. But I see this as step one of many to come, and I totally see the gameplay opportunities expanding from kind of this initial launch. But I think like the way I'd sum it up is like the technology is amazing, and when you match that with a really compelling but simple and easy to understand experience, uh, you have such a delightful moment that you can have a real feeling of connection to
Absolutely.
these
Yeah.
creatures that are digital.
So okay, I gotta jump in here. So my first experience with Hello Dot, and I know Joy has her own personal story, but my first experience
Mhm.
with Hello Dot, I was blown away. So I'm on LinkedIn scrolling one day, just passed by your post saying it's out. I'm like, oh what's go? So I hurry up and go and find it, download it on App Lab on the Quest. Which this is your warning right now. You guys can just download this right now. Okay, just go get it right now, this second.
Right.
All right, still watch, but go get it right now. So I get in there and I'm like, I'm gonna record my initial a feeling. So I had to cut out the audio because my voice went high pitch when I saw the cuteness that came out. And of course, I've dipped it a few times in the pain, and then started throwing the food and like seeing how like I was had it. It was sitting by my lap and start petting
Yeah.
it, start falling asleep on me, and I'm like, hey, this is like real. Like, how do
It's
you?
definitely the interactions is
Yeah,
really amazing. I just couldn't get over how cute it was, and for you to have it in your hand and like how you pick it up, it's like so adorable. And I'm like, I don't want to break it. You know how used to have what was that girl name? What's her name? Emily. But she says, I want to just rub it and pet it
oh yeah, on
and
Tiny
squeeze it.
Toons.
Elmira,
Yeah,
is
Tiny
that?
Toons. Yeah,
Yeah. And so it's like that's what you want to do. You just want to rub it and pet it, and just it's just so cute. So I absolutely love it.
absolutely. Now
it's
I got to tell you,
it's
I did change the color like 80 times because I was like, I got to get the perfect color. But it's just a magical experience,
It
honestly.
is.
it's so amazing, hearing that. I think like we went through a lot of prototyping and play testing, and I think the reaction you see from everyone the first time they put the headset on and they're like immersed into this world of mixed reality, not virtual reality, but mixed reality, where you're like
Yeah.
anchored in your real world, is like oh my God, is this creature there? And like, it's always
Mhm.
amazing to see. And you like literally almost everyone underneath the headset, you see that immediate like smile. And it's just like, it's so
Yes.
amazing that with even such a simple experience, you can bring that joy into someone's day.
And so, have you all had any specific stories or feedback you received from players about their emotional experiences?
It's just the delight. Yeah, I'll share a story from early on, even before the mixed reality experience. But with Peridot Mobile, one of
Mhm.
the moments that made us realize we had something special. We were in an exec review, and we were talking about the experience and what we were building, and we had several prototypes and a really early playable. And one of the execs said, hey, I stopped at my door and I waited for the dot to walk in first before I walked in. And like that
That
was a
Oh,
is,
moment where like
that's
everyone in
it.
the room was like, oh my God, like, yeah, this is real.
yes.
Like, even though
Yeah.
it's digital, this is real. And so when you can have that reaction on mobile, imagine how much more of an amazing reaction and experience you can have
Oh, yeah.
in headset, where now it's like
Absolutely.
fully in your field of view, where you can actually touch it, where you can feel that it's there. And as I mentioned, it's like almost every time a new person tries it out, it's like immediate smile. It's like, oh my God, this is
Oh, yeah.
adorable. This is cute. This is
Yes.
real. And it's always it's so delightful to see that. And I think the biggest piece of feedback is like, this is amazing, but like, what more? What more? And so that's where we're in the phase of like, okay, like we nailed it, but what more can we bring? And I know you have some questions, and we can touch
Yes,
on it
and
later on,
that
but yeah, I'm
that
excited.
actually rolls right into our next question. So, what future updates or features can players look forward to in Hello Dot? And are there any interactions or expansions that you are particularly excited about?
There's a lot there. I'll start by saying Peridot, as a team, highly experimental team, really passionate about the space. And our mission is, let's innovate. Let's deliver something so magical, so different, than anyone else can deliver. And like, how can we do that with the technology that we have? And so we've been an experimental team since the start, and that's kind of like, again, back to that inspiration of like, why build Peridot? Well, it was like, what can we do to push the boundaries of the technology on mobile? Now, what can we do
Yeah.
to push the boundaries of the technology on mixed reality headsets and future AR glasses? And so that's what we're all about. And so I think what you'll see from us is we're going to continue to tinker. We're tossing around a lot of ideas right now. I can't say like any specifics on like this gameplay feature is absolutely coming, but I'll share a couple of thoughts that come to mind for me. Number one, generative AI is incredibly exciting to me, and how it can play a role in gameplay. And so I think you'll see us tinkering and playing around with like, how can we lean into that technology to make these moments of gameplay even more delightful.
Wow.
And you
Okay.
can get a glimpse of that actually if you've tried the mobile game, and if not, download it right now. We're available on the App Store. Um, in the
Absolutely.
mobile game, yeah, we launched two separate Gen AI related features. And so in one of them, um, we have this semantic segmentation understanding of the world. So if your dot
Mhm.
sees water or grass or furniture or a tree, like, we can recognize that and imagine having
Oh,
this real world understanding,
Come on.
this personality of these creatures, this age of this creature is like a baby, a teen, or an adult, and being able to feed that to a large language model and having it now react to those situations in fun and delightful ways. And so,
yeah.
one example of that is your dot sees flowers, and it might go up and actually like sniff the flowers
Oh,
and then
wow.
sit back and admire them. And so we're taking generative AI, we're taking this information of this creature, we're taking this information of the real world, and we're feeding that to a large language model. And the LLM is saying, hey, we know you have this whole vast library of animations in your system. Which one of these are relevant? And it can deliver a delightful new response every time. The
Wow.
second feature that we launched in the mobile game is leaning into that same LLM, but maybe you can have a conversation with your dot. And like, obviously the dots aren't going to speak back to you in a human voice, but maybe you can say like, hey, are you hungry? Or hey, are you excited to go on a walk? And then your dot can interpret that input, and maybe it responds by spinning quickly in circles and running towards the door. And so it's like, okay, this dot wants to go on a walk. Like, I'm going to get my shoes on and go outside. And so those are the ways that we're experimenting with Gen AI on mobile. But imagine what that can look like in headset. And so I think you'll see us tinkering with those types of ideas there. And again, to what you all were mentioning earlier is like creatures that feel real, and how does this technology make these digital objects feel real? And I think generative AI can kind of help in that area.
Yeah, and it makes me think about the people who may be allergic to pets, or the child that may be allergic to a pet and always wanted a pet, and now they can have their own personal dot. That would be so like incredible.
Yeah, that was actually one of the player personas early on. It's like we knew we had a market of people. They're also the people that, maybe they're in college and they grew up with a pet and they still want that companionship, but they can't have their pet at college. And so you have this digital creature with you. So that's really exciting. Yeah.
I am excited. I come from the Tamagotchis, the Digimons. So we were taking care of these little 8-bit, 16-bit little Digimon and things, and now really excited to see how that can go into, like I said, when you think about mixed reality headsets itself, how that can now feed into that. I'm excited for the day when we begin to see those types of interactions in a headset, and then they can live in the OS in some way. That'd be incredible.
Yeah, and I'd say like I think we're just scratching the surface of how you can leverage an LLM. And so yeah, we're using a custom model of Llama 2 for the Peridot mobile experience. And as you mentioned, I think that can bring a lot more delight in headset. So that's one area like I'm super excited to tinker and experiment with. And again, like I think just like speaking to your dot, or your dot recognizing aspects of the world and responding, it's just like scratching the surface. There are tons of other types of game loops you could think about where generative AI can drive gameplay in more meaningful ways.
Absolutely.
The other part I really want to mention, because it excites me, and I think it shows like the creativity of the Peridot team and kind of how we're experimenting and tinkering with ideas is, with Peridot Mobile, you're outside, you're outdoors, you're through a smartphone. With headsets right now, most of them are indoors. I think, again, like I mentioned earlier, we'll see that day where we're back outdoors through, maybe glasses that are in a more suitable form factor to wear all day, to wear outside.
Yeah.
But part of the mission is like outdoor exploration. That's like Niantic's kind of ethos. And so one idea that we're tinkering around with is like, can we take the real world and bring that indoors? And so I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with like 3D scanning and Gaussian splats and photogrammetry. Like that's another like incredibly interesting area. And so I don't want to spill too much tea. And obviously we're early in prototyping and experimenting, but that's another area that like really excites me of like, are there ways that we can bring these scans of the real world, or these objects of the real world, and have it drive some form of gameplay in a fun and exciting way, so that you're bringing the outdoors back, indoor for this, moment of time.
Absolutely.
Another way
so exciting.
And I was going to say, like, another way to think about that, and the ways that maybe some other games are doing it is like, there's also this aspect of like asymmetric gaming. So maybe if there's a world in which you're doing some things on your phone when you're outdoors, but that's content that you can bring indoors when you're in headset, and things that you're doing in headset, you can take back outdoors. And so again, I view mixed reality as like this amazing medium, but it can work in conjunction with so many other amazing technologies.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think you'll just see us experimenting and having fun. And so hopefully this gets folks excited that are interested in the metaverse, and that are interested in the real world, and that are excited about content.
You said the term. You said metaverse. I was just about to lean into. I remember when Mark Zuckerberg on the 2021 Connect keynote, he was speaking about the metaverse. He spent almost an hour and a half selling this vision of what it looks like. It wasn't just headsets. It wasn't just glasses. It was mobile phones. Right. It was computing. It was everything. A lot of times people only assume metaverse means putting a headset on, something that
Headset
covers
on.
your face, or the augmented reality glasses of the future. But it's actually, we're in the metaverse already with applications like Peridot. We're already in the metaverse already with applications like Pokemon Go. And so I love what you said, where this is how we're going to be able to blend. It's not going to be one app on this platform and one app on that platform. It's
Right.
Paradise gonna be universal, and then no matter if you're in your headset, whether you're in your phone, whether you're on your tablet, or you're on your computer, you might sit in front of your computer and it shows up on your screen, and then it leaves the screen and gets on your phone, and then goes on your glasses, and that's the future. We're excited to see. Like this is music to our ears. So when you
Oh
say
yeah.
metaverse, you're gonna get the horns. You're gonna get the horns on this podcast. Absolutely.
And I will say, like, I don't think Peridot just needs to be a game. I think it can, as you mentioned, it can show up in many ways and many different platforms and many different technologies. I mean, there's even a world where, like, imagine you're just at home, in headset and, watching on a streaming platform. Maybe you just want a dot to be by your side while you're there.
Absolutely.
And so, like, those are the
Yeah.
ways that I think, digital content can show up in exciting ways, where it doesn't always have to be like this game loop does this very specific thing and I get this,
Mhm.
very specific reward of content and I feel delight from that. Like, I think delight comes in many different forms and flavors.
Yes, I love that. We did notice it was also on the Vision Pro, not as Hello Dot, but we saw it in a Sunny Tube, I believe is the application that has the Peridot little experience inside of it. And we were like delighted. We were just looking at weather, having a little widget on the side. And that's kind of closer to that vision of something that can be OS level. I kind of mentioned that earlier, where there's these, I know Meta's working on augments. They mentioned that at Connect last year, where you'll be able to have maybe something that lives in your room, that it's not an application, but something that is kind of cohesive. And as you walk through your home, there's different augment systems. So I would hope maybe in the future, Peridot can be a part of that. Hello Dot can be maybe some part of that system.
Fingers
That'd be
crossed.
really cool. Absolutely.
Yes, and so we've come to our final question. The show is called Get Them to the Metaverse. How do you get people into the metaverse?
We view the metaverse, and the metaverse is an interesting term, but we view the metaverse as like the real world metaverse. It's getting people
Yes.
outside. And so the way that I think about that and the way that we think about that at a broader level is, how can we leverage fun, compelling game loops to get people off their couch and just walking outdoors? And I think there are a lot of ways you can do that. I will say, like, I think augmented reality comes in a lot of different form factors. I think, like, when you say the term AR, most people's like brain initially goes to like, okay, just visual, like visual AR. But I think, when you can augment the world, there's a ton of different ways you can augment the world. One is just by location. So by virtue of understanding where players are in the world, on latitude and longitude on a map, you're taking players to a different location and they're able to experience some fun content that can happen there. You can do that virtually, like in an experience like Peridot, where now you're seeing this digital creature in the real world and it has that understanding of that real world at a greater level, like the things and the objects you see, the places you are. There's also audio. I don't think a lot of people really think about augmented reality as like audio driving experiences and driving gameplay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I think there's like a lot of ways you can leverage like audio. Maybe, I'll say this personally for me, like I love the Meta Ray Bans. I got them a few months ago and I wear them every single day. There's amazing audio quality there. But I think there's like a way that those devices can also play a role in the metaverse and the future of augmented reality. And so like I view spatial computing devices as more than just a, mixed reality headset, as more than just a smart glasses. And we're like slowly getting from like, headset, over your complete face via the form factor of a goggles to smart glasses which maybe don't have a, visual HUD yet, to a future where you have kind of these true AR glasses, which take all those components of real world location, understanding of the real world, and being able to have content layered over that, to also audio. So I think there's a way that you can bring people into the real world metaverse in a handful of ways. And so it's an exciting future. And to bring it back to Peridot, like we're the experimental team. We're going to tinker and experiment, and maybe we can find that game loop or set of experiences or moments that deliver delight, so that when that future AR glasses time comes, we have something really compelling that'll get someone to go outdoors and
Absolutely.
experience this beautiful world in new ways.
Yes.
Listen,
Absolutely love
I love this. You know what? You get the good claps. You get the good claps.
this.
All right, we have bad claps. These are good claps. All right, like I am just so impressed, and I have fallen, like I said, deeper in love. Me and Joy both with the whole mission of what Niantic is trying to do, because
Yeah.
we understand health is wealth. And so having that opportunity to still enjoy games, still enjoy the world around you, but also get fit and just take in fresh air is a big thing. I think people don't think about when you think about games and experiences like Pokemon Go or Peridot, they're literally making you want to move. They're making you want to
Yeah.
do action. And that's one thing that VR is great about. Me and Joy learned a long time ago, we were not going to be ones that just sit down all the time and play VR. Like the whole point of VR is that you're
Right.
supposed to be in the game. Now we haven't got as far as we can got a whole setup to walk on the catwalk they call it. We haven't got that quite yet. If they want to sponsor, hey, let us know. But honestly, it's just one of those moments where I believe we're going to begin to see this branch out even more because augmented reality glasses, like you said, are going to become more ubiquitous and more user friendly and cheaper and easier to make. And me and Joy talk about this all the time. We believe that the true metaverse moment happens when you can go to a 7-Eleven, pick up a sandwich, pick up a candy bar, and pick up those 99-cent augmented reality glasses because it's so easy and so much of it. The quantity is so great, and we can't wait to see what Niantic does in those moments. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also too, it's another selling point that I can reach out to people who, think that their children will just be inside and just stagnated, and introduce them to this experience and watch them just glow and be able to, have some interaction outside and take it wherever. So this is great. This is incredible.
Yes, man. This has been a phenomenal. One more time for the good claps. One more time for the good claps. Okay. This has been a great show. This has been a great show. We want to make sure that you get an opportunity to get your last words in on Get 'em to the Metaverse. Please let us know what you got to say, my man.
I just so appreciate y'all inviting me on and having the opportunity to chat. And I love what work y'all are doing in the space and bringing more eyes to the metaverse. And I'm excited to what we can build for the future and what we can build together. And I think it's all about bringing people together. So thanks for bringing me on.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and rocking with us and for our amazing guests. I mean, I know me and Jay Dunn, we both know that y'all enjoyed it. And so let us know in the comments how much you enjoyed this podcast, okay? But before we go, we have to hear from Jay Dunn.
Listen, okay, I need y'all to do two things. I need y'all to make sure you go download Hello Dot right now. If you got a Meta Quest 3, you need to go get that thing right now. Okay, go get it right now. And then another thing, we need you to make sure that you keep it locked on this channel, on Getting Things Done, and on this podcast, Get 'em to the Metaverse, because it has been another incredible episode. And we thank you again, Asim, for being a part of this incredible podcast with us. And everybody, we gonna see y'all next time on Get 'em to the Metaverse. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.